The date is July 11th, 1996. It's a Thursday. The song California Love by Tupac Shakur featuring Dr. Dre is on top of the singles charts in the United States. In the UK, Killing Me Softly by the Fugees is the #1 song. Bill Clinton is currently the President of the United States, and the movie Nutty Professor is top at the box office. Gamers are playing titles such as Mortal Kombat 3, Virtua Fighter 2, Duke Nukem 3D, and Quake. Children and teenagers are currently watching television shows such as Art Attack, All That, In the House, and Hang Time. Popular toys at the moment include the likes of Screwball Scramble, the Sega Game Gear, Mighty Max, and Dear Diary. In the early morning hours of July 11th, 1996, the body of Robert Dennis Blair Adams was discovered half naked at the site of an under-construction hotel on Strawberry Plains Pike in Knoxville, Tennessee. Mr. Adams was found by 2 construction workers around 7:30 a.m. His pants were completely removed and his shirt open but still on his body. His pants, shoes, and socks were found lying nearby. Scattered around him were German, Canadian, and U.S. currency totaling nearly $4,000. Police also located a black duffel bag which contained maps, receipts, and a fanny pack which held 5 ounces of gold bars, gold and platinum coins, jewelry, keys, and a pair of sunglasses. Welcome to True Crime Game Time. My name is Bo Cephas, and in this series, we're going to watch some video game footage while discussing a true crime case. We will be putting out a new episode every week. The first case we were discussing is the case of Robert Blair Adams from Surrey, British Columbia, Canada. The first question we have to ask is, why was Mr. Adams in Knoxville to begin with? Honestly, there is no answer. But what we do know is that for days leading up to the discovery of his body, family and friends had noticed Blair acting very strange. Blair Adams was born December 28, 1964, in Surrey, British Columbia, Canada. It was very difficult to find any information about his early life, so we will not be discussing anything prior to July 5th, 1996. The first significant incident in the timeline of Mr. Adams' death occurred on July 5th, 1996. Mr. Adams paid a visit to his bank and withdrew most of the cash from his account. He also emptied out his safe deposit box, which contained gold, platinum, jewelry, and some additional cash. He then attempted to enter the U.S. via a ferry from Victoria, British Columbia to Seattle, Washington. Immigration officials flagged him as a possible drug courier due to the fact that he was a single male traveling alone with a large amount of cash. He was also found to have convictions for drug and assault and was denied entry based on these charges. The next day, Blair arrived at his job, a construction company in Surrey, and quit. That afternoon, he spent $1,600 on a round-trip ticket from Vancouver to Frankfurt, Germany. His flight would leave the following day. However, just hours after buying the ticket, he went to a friend's house. He said that he needed to get across the border because someone was attempting to kill him. His friend said she was unable to help. In the early morning hours of July 9th, he was discovered by Canadian Border Patrol agents attempting to cross the border on foot at the Pacific Highway border crossing. The officials noted that Adams had several scratches covering his legs and hands. Adams also matched the description of a suspect in the case of an abandoned automobile that had been stolen and abandoned near the Pacific Highway border crossing. Upon arrival, Blair purchased a one-way ticket to Washington, D.C., where he rented a Toyota Camry at Dulles International Airport. Adams returned his ticket and instead rented a car and drove across the border into Seattle. Adams was involved in an incident in which he backed the rental car into another vehicle on U.S. Route 250 in Troy, Virginia, causing minor damage. The driver of the other vehicle told detectives that Adams, quote, seemed nice, but was in a hurry, end quote. Adams arrived in Knoxville, Tennessee, sometime on the evening of July 10th, approximately 500 miles southwest of Washington, D.C. The first reported sighting of Adams occurred at a gas station at Strawberry Plains Pike in Knoxville at 5:30 p.m. Gerald Sapp, an interstate repair service driver, had been called to the gas station. Adams had told the clerk that he was having difficulty with his car key and was unable to enter the car. When Sapp arrived, he realized that the key Adams had attempted to use was for a Nissan Altima, which was the model stolen and abandoned near the Pacific Highway border crossing on July 9th, and not the key for a Toyota Camry, which is what Adams was driving. Sapp recalled, quote, I asked him to look in his pockets. I said, if you drove this thing up here, you gotta have another key in your pockets. And he wouldn't look, so I thought he was nuts. He was bound and determined that he had the key he needed for that car. Sapp arranged to have the car towed to a local repair shop and dropped Adams off at the Fairfield Inn in Knoxville. Upon arrival at the Fairfield Inn, Adams was captured on CCTV footage in the lobby. He spent around 40 minutes loitering around the hotel before paying for a room with a US $100 bill. When the clerk attempted to return his change, Adams exited the lobby and walked outside. It was later determined that he never entered the room he paid for. His body was discovered by construction workers around 7:30 a.m. on July 11, 1996, in the parking lot of an under-construction Fairfield Inn location outside Knoxville at the Strawberry Plains Pike I-40 interchange, half naked with his pants off and shirt open. According to an autopsy report by the University of Tennessee Medical Center, Adams has sustained multiple cuts and abrasions. The Knox County Sheriff's Department has speculated some of the wounds came from fending off an attack. Adams also suffered a violent blow that ruptured his stomach. His official cause of death was ruled as sepsis stemming from an abdominal perforation or a hole that had formed in either his stomach, large or small intestine that goes completely through the organ. He also had a wound to his forehead, which police determined was caused by a crowbar or club. It was also believed that Adams had been sexually assaulted, though no DNA evidence was found to confirm this. Law enforcement initially suggested the possibility that Adams' death had been sex-related, since he was almost entirely nude when discovered. The only physical DNA evidence found at the scene was one strand of long hair that was gripped in Adams' hand. According to subsequent interviews with his mother, Adams had been acting oddly in the weeks prior to his leaving Canada, though she said Adams refused to tell her what was bothering him. According to friends and family, Adams had been sober for 2 years at the time of his death and had recently stopped attending AA meetings. He also allegedly told friends that someone was trying to kill him and confided in his mother that, quote, someone had been spreading rumors about him. He had also been suffering from mood swings and had difficulty sleeping. In a 2010 interview with local law enforcement, it was revealed that the Knoxville Police Department had never received a credible tip in Adams' death, though a composite sketch of a man was released in the case. The sketch was of a man 2 women claimed to have witnessed Adams speaking to outside a Cracker Barrel restaurant in Knoxville. In the 25 years since the death of Robert Dennis Blair Adams, police are no closer to a suspect than they were on day one. If you believe you have any information that may assist the Knox County Sheriff's Office, please contact them at 865-215-2243. Thank you for joining me for this first episode of True Crime Game Time. I hope you have enjoyed what you've seen and heard here. If you have any feedback, please leave a comment down below. Let me know if you liked it, disliked it, what I could do better in the next episode. And we will see you 1 week from today. Thank you again.